When Mankiewicz proposed the story of Hearst, Wells seized on this as his last best chance. It was perfect, an American saga, a giant who brings ruin to all and to himself. Houseman was dispatched to babysit Mank in a little desert town called Victorville.
You know, Mankiewicz was a drunk. The trick was to keep him off the booze while he wrote this thing. And Houseman and myself were sort of the go-between. We would drive up to Victorville, get part of the script and bring it back to Orson and back and forth.
Mank called his script American, which was the title Hearst always claimed for himself. But as Houseman remembered, we were also creating a vehicle suited to a man who, at 24, was only slightly less fabulous than the hero he would be portraying. And the deeper we penetrated into the heart of Charles Foster Kane, the closer we seemed to come to the identity of Orson Welles. As Welles got the pages from Victorville, he attacked the script with all of his craft, and with all of his life to that point. The boy's loss of his mother, that never happened to Hearst. It happened to Welles.
He visualized himself as that character. See, once he could see himself playing that character, I mean, that was it, you know. I think they thought that they could get away with it. I don't think they really realized how touchy the old man was, and that this was Hollywood, and it would be hell to pay.
They knew enough to run it by the lawyers. From that point of view, they weren't at risk. Anyway, if Hearst sued, that would be great. The film would be news everywhere. They'd write in some lines about Marion's drinking and those horrid puzzles. No one in Hollywood could miss the joke. They'd even put in Rosebud, the secret word which, they claimed, was Hearst's pet name for Marion's private parts. They'd drive the old man crazy, turn the town on its ear.
Got called in on a Monday morning by Jim Wilkinson, the head of the editing department, my boss, and saying, listen, you know, this fellow Orson Welles has come to the studio. I said, yeah, I know, I haven't seen him. He said, well, he's pulled a fast one on the studio. I said, what do you mean? He said, well, he's got this new picture, and he asked them for an okay to make 3 what he called tests for this picture. And they gave him the okay, and he shot the tests, so-called tests, and he said they've looked at the scenes and realized they're scenes for the picture. They're not just tests, so they've given him the green light to go ahead and make the picture.
I never saw anybody more focused. He knew exactly what he wanted, and he and Greg Toland were on a completely single wavelength. I'll never forget the day I came in and they had sawed a hole out of the board floor, which you could do, and they were both on their hands and knees throwing out the dirt like children in a sandbox.
He was totally absorbed in himself and the picture and what he was doing. But you couldn't look at those rushes coming in every day, those films shot the day before, without realizing you were getting something quite extraordinary. The photography and the angles and the shooting. It was marvelous. It was just marvelous.
Here he was at RKO with his carte blanche deal, and he would not let the executives of that studio come anywhere near the set. They came in, and Orson said, who's got a baseball? Let's play some catch. So everybody started playing catch. But of course, it drove the brass absolutely loony.
With his soundstage closed, with control over everything on his set, Welles thought at last he had his project in hand. Nothing stopped him. After one fall down a flight of steps, he acted in steel ankle braces and directed from a wheelchair. He still said he hated Hollywood, but at the studio he'd found the biggest magic kid on earth.